Now, a lot of Republicans are shaking their heads after watching President Trump try to negotiate with Democrats in the White House over funding for the wall. Now, one thing that Republicans have been desperately trying to avoid is a government shutdown. They know because they've tried a government shutdown before and they got wrecked because of it. Now, according to The Hill, Republican leaders since then have been really trying to steer the president away from a shutdown. Of course, the president's not listening because earlier today he said during the meeting, I will have a shutdown and you can blame me for it. I will do the shutdown and I will be proud to do the shutdown. Now, look, this is a guy who boasts that he has the best brain, that he's a very stable genius, right? And he's taking credit for a government shutdown that would be deeply unpopular politically in order to try to get a wall that is also deeply unpopular politically. And so, he told Democrats that he'd be proud to shut down the government. Now, the response from fellow Republicans in office is awesome. Asked if he had seen the exchange on television, Senate Republican Whip John Cornyn said, quote, I did. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't. Senate Republican Conference Chairman John Thune basically threw up his hands when asked about his reaction. That's great. He said, quote, I heard it was very entertaining television. That it was indeed. Finally, Senate Appropriations Committee Chairman Richard Shelby from Alabama, who basically urged the president in a private meeting before Thanksgiving to not shut down the federal agencies over a border wall, said simply, boy, I would have handled that one differently. Yeah, no kidding. I think any Republican would have handled that a lot differently, but Trump's not savvy enough. He is actually really dumb, doesn't understand how to actually do things, doesn't understand the political blowback is going to hurt both him and the party. And he doesn't care about the party. Of course, he doesn't care about the Republican Party, but he does care about himself. And so what I think was basically a political stunt, making sure that this was on camera in front of reporters, he's basically telling his fans, no, don't worry, I'm going to be tough when it comes to the border wall. But in doing so, he basically just gave the Democrats the upper hand by saying, oh no, I'm going to own a shutdown. You have just screwed yourself and made sure that there will A, be no funding for the wall, and B, no government shutdown. Way to go. Because he'll give up before it even happens. I can almost guarantee it, but I won't 100%. We'll have to see what happens. But I think he's a dumb person. I don't think he's dumb enough to actually do that. We'll see. Now, that's Republicans. I've got a great quote here from Nancy Pelosi of all people. I know, right? So Pelosi, in a closed-door meeting, according to an aide who was there, said, quote, for the wall, it's like a manhood thing for him, as if manhood could ever be associated with him, this wall thing. Oh, snap. He just took aim at President Trump's manhood. Oh, who knew I would give Pelosi credit for probably one of the biggest burns in this Trump presidency. That is awesome. Tell us how you really feel, Nancy. I actually wish you would do that out in public. Oh, there's so much great material you could talk about his mushroom dick. But of course, nobody wants to talk about that because gross. But that is awesome. I'm going to give her a lot of credit for that, for saying that, because that's amazing. But now, look, I think pretty much we should all know by now that President Trump is the dumbest man alive. Now, if you still think he's a stable genius, I'm not going to be able to help you, right? But he has literally shown throughout his entire term how you can be born rich and white, and that alone, and with a big name, that alone can catapult you to the presidency, to higher office. He shows you how you can fail upward as long as you have money and power. You could be as dumb as a brick, and you can still get into the halls of power. That's amazing. But this guy is the standard bearer for Republicans. It is no wonder that GOP senators and congresspeople despise him. They're like, oh, what are you doing, you moron? And look, it's about time, I think, for the Democrats, for Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, to actually start treating him like one. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.